CHP officers on the ground, and with the police helicopter orbiting overhead, they can't see who's inside. And it people see you with the driver. Influence of some drugs or alcohol. These are all things that have to be played out now by CHP officers on Cahuenga northbound, coming up into the Cahuenga Pass, and they'll be approaching the 101 freeway here in just a bit. Now, that's a story from Air 7 HD. We're going to keep the helicopter right on top of this pursuit and see where it goes next. And live from the helicopter, I'm Bill Thomas. Over to you in the studio.
Bill, we're going to stay on top of this, obviously. This guy is in some really congested area right now, and near the height of rush hour, and I imagine eventually he's going to run into some difficult situations. There he is.
He's getting on the freeway.
Is that the 101 right there, Bill?
Yeah, it's Cahuenga northbound, and he is opting to rejoin the 101 northbound. I believe that is a Saturn view. It's hard to be sure at our altitude. We're about 1,500 feet above the pursuit. They come in two power plants, actually three now, a 4-cylinder, a 6-cylinder, and they even make a Saturn hybrid. So we're not sure which power plant they've got, but all three of those Saturn views, all three power plants, they've got plenty of pep, plenty of low-end torque. They've got plenty of top-end speed as well, and they have pretty good gas mileage, the Saturn views, the 4s and the 6-cylinders, and of course the hybrid. So this could go on for quite some time, particularly if he's got a full tank of gas. Here you see him joining the right lane on the Hollywood Freeway northbound in the Cahuenga Pass. We followed this chase out of the San Fernando Valley. The first thing we heard about was on Lankershim, not far from Universal Studios. In no time at all, we picked them up on the Hollywood Freeway southbound. They went into downtown Hollywood, on Hollywood Boulevard, not far from the big setup for the Academy Awards, but he dodged his way around that. Went on some other surface streets, Yucca, Hollywood Boulevard, Vine Street, Cahuenga, and now back on the Hollywood Freeway. North on the 101. We're coming up into the Cahuenga Pass near the Barham Overpass. Right lane is what he's sitting in right now.
Usually
At
there's
reasonable
traffic
speeds.
around there.
And as you can see, there are three CHP cruisers right behind him, and a CHP motor officer bringing up the rears. They did talk to LAPD officers moments ago when they were on surface streets, but now they're back on the freeway, so CHP officers will stay on top of this guy, and no idea where he...
Let's see.
First, so don't wait.
Nope. Okay.
Valley, and he may be going right back now to familiar territory, back to his own home, back to the home of a friend or a family member or an acquaintance, back to somewhere where he works, an area that he's familiar with. And again, you can see that car, the rear window, and all the side windows, they're heavily tinted, so we can't see if there's anybody else inside that car. Neither can CHP officers, so it's really a waited out situation. CHP officers, they've got plenty of fuel, they've got plenty of gas, and they can go a lot longer than that guy can. If one CHP officer has to pull off due to a problem with fuel, the next CHP cruiser pulls right in, so this can go as long as the suspect driver wants to go on.
He seems to be driving a little more carefully now. When he was on those surface streets,
There's
and he
traffic,
was
so you can't
right
just
through the
keep
stop
going
signs,
as long as
changing
he
lanes,
wants.
driving very erratically. So this seems a little bit more under control. But is he just got off that off ramp? Where is he, Bill?
Going on Cahuenga.
Yeah, that might be the Universal Center Drive off ramp in Universal City here in the Cahuenga Pass. Might be winding his way back toward Universal Studios. You might be able to use that off ramp to get back onto Cahuenga Boulevard. We'll see where he goes next. He's in the middle lane now. We've actually seen these pursuits where oftentimes, one time I can recall not long ago, one person being pursued actually ended up in the Universal Center parking lot, and that's where the pursuit came to an end. So he's going to go right through that light. Hopefully that was a green light. And that was Universal Center Drive. Not sure where he's going next, but he might be pulling into the grounds of Universal Studios. A problem not only for that driver, but of course CHP officers and other patrons who might be at the park. Now, we'll look up ahead here. We'll open up the shot just a bit. This may be a dead end coming up ahead.
We already passed the park. That was on the other side.
Okay, there is going to be a way out of this, and again, that's right at Universal Studios. He did take the Universal Center Drive off-ramp. He is on the grounds of Universal Center Drive. Let's go right back into that car, and we'll see what happens next here. He's stopping here at Universal Studios, actually slowing down to go through that stop sign, and he might try to pull into the lot. There he goes. He might just be pulling over, try to wait it out, try to negotiate with CHP officers, hopefully get out of the car and just peacefully surrender. We're going to keep that shot a little wide because we don't know what's going to happen next. Now, the suspect is out of the car, and that could be a problem for police officers if he doesn't comply completely. So he is complying. There he is out of the car, down on the ground. That's half the battle right now. That's their primary suspect. Fortunately, it has come to a stop here at Universal Studios. He's out of the car. He's in a secured parking lot, and he is down on the ground following commands of CHP officers. And as you can see, we're going to push in a little bit here. CHP officers, they have their guns drawn. They're trained right on that suspect. They got to get close to him, take him into custody, and while they're doing that, they're also keeping in mind there could be other suspects or perhaps other hostages in that Saturn view. But fortunately, this part of the pursuit has come to an end. That suspect is complying, and in just moments he will be taken into custody, and then they'll clear that car to make sure there are no other suspects inside. Now you can see two CHP officers approaching, one right behind the other. They've got their guns drawn. This is a very tense situation. That suspect, though, appears to be complying entirely with CHP officers. And while those two officers approach that suspect who's down on the ground, other officers, they've got their guns trained on that vehicle. They're making sure no one else pops out of that car. Back door open, appears to be clear. The passenger side back door open, that appears to be clear as well. You can see two CHP officers getting his hands behind his back. They'll be taken into custody in just a bit. They still have to open up that tailgate, make sure there's no one else in the back of that vehicle, but they don't appear to be too concerned about it. So fortunately, this pursuit lasted really less than 12, maybe 15 minutes. Started, we believe, in the San Fernando Valley, somewhere near Lancashire. Took to the Hollywood Freeway, surface streets around downtown Hollywood, including Hollywood Boulevard, Yucca, Vine, and Gower. Then that suspect, for some reason, jumped right back onto the Hollywood Freeway, pulled into this parking lot, very peacefully surrendered. He is in custody. Nobody got hurt this afternoon, as far as we can tell from the helicopter.
Well, I guess driving off
was cleared, so the pursuit did come to an end. We're live in Air 7 HD, and I'm Bill Thomas, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Bill, thank you. Michelle Tuzzi here along with Mark Brown as we continue our live coverage of this end of a pursuit in Universal City, Universal Studios, as we begin Eyewitness News at 5 o'clock. And you can see now the suspect being taken into custody after this brief pursuit, as Bill Thomas mentioned, only lasted about 10 to 15 minutes, started out in the Hollywood area and came to an end here in a parking lot at Universal Studios.
Bill, any idea what started this pursuit?
That's what I'm wondering.
No idea, David. We were just transitioning out of the San Fernando Valley in Air 7 HD. We looked down to the Hollywood Freeway. We heard the neighbors activity on Lancashire of the Valley. And then right on the Hollywood Freeway near the Highland off-ramp, we saw that Saturn View, that one suspect in the Saturn View being pursued by CHP officers. And we don't know exactly why they were chasing him, but the chase was on. And didn't last too long before that suspect got off the freeway at the Gower off-ramp, ran his way around Hollywood. He was on Hollywood Boulevard westbound for a short while from Gower, and maybe he knew about all the activity up ahead at the Kodak Theater, because he promptly got off of Hollywood Boulevard, which would have come to a dead end, and wound his way back to the Hollywood Freeway, came into the valley, found this secure parking lot, which has a dead end. There's no way out. The parking lot is at or adjacent to Universal Studios. He quickly got out of the car, down to the ground, complied with CHP officers' commands. They quickly took him into custody, and fortunately, this pursuit came to an end with nobody getting hurt and the suspect quickly taken into custody.
All right, and that is key. Bill Thomas, thank you very much for that live report over Universal City.
On now to other news. A 20-year-old Saudi